The night of March 31st, 2023, was just another Friday for Anheuser-Busch. As the parent company of Bud Light, they were gearing up for a big weekend of sales. Their iconic blue cans were stocked high in grocery stores, their commercials were running on primetime TV, and millions of Americans were ready to crack open a cold one. Everything seemed normal. But what they didn't know was that a single, seemingly innocent social media post was about to ignite a firestorm that would engulf their brand, vaporize billions from their market value, and become one of the most talked about marketing disasters in modern history. How did it all go so wrong, so fast? How did a buyer brand that spent decades building an image of being for everyone suddenly find itself at the center of a cultural war? This isn't just a story about a marketing campaign gone bad. It's a story about brand identity, consumer loyalty, and the explosive power of social media. To understand what happened to Bud Light, we need to rewind the clock and look at the calculated risks and cultural shifts that led to this multi-billion-dollar catastrophe. For years, Bud Light's marketing playbook was simple and effective. It was the buyer of Super Bowl parties, backyard barbecues, and hanging out with the guys. Their ads were filled with humor, celebrities, and a distinct frat boy vibe. Remember the Dilly Dilly campaign? It was goofy, memorable, and it worked. The message was clear. Bud Light is fun, unpretentious, and for the everyday American. This strategy cemented its place as the #1 selling beer in the United States for over 2 decades. It was more than a drink. It was a cultural staple. But by 2022, the landscape was changing. Younger consumers, particularly Gen Z, weren't connecting with the old playbook. They were drinking less beer overall and were more drawn to brands that reflected their values, authenticity, inclusivity, and social consciousness. Bud Light's sales, while still massive, were beginning to stagnate. The brand was seen as your dad's beer, a label no company wants. The executives at Anheuser-Busch knew they had a problem. They needed to evolve or risk being left behind. This is where Alyssa Heinerscheid comes in. In June 2022, she was promoted to Vice President of Marketing for Bud Light, becoming the first woman to lead the brand in its 40-year history. Her mission was clear: to modernize Bud Light and expand its appeal beyond its traditional male-dominated base. In a podcast interview, just before the controversy, she stated her goal was to evolve the brand and make it more inclusive. To move away from its fratty and out-of-touch reputation. She wanted to attract a new generation of drinkers without alienating the old one. It was a delicate balancing act, a marketing tightrope walk over a canyon of cultural divides. The strategy was to use influencer marketing to reach new audiences. Instead of just big-budget TV commercials, they would partner with digital creators who had dedicated followings. It's a common tactic in modern marketing, and for a while, it seemed to be working. They partnered with artists, chefs, and sports influencers, subtly shifting the brand's image. Everything was moving according to plan. And then came the partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney is a transgender actress and TikTok personality with millions of followers. Her Days of Girlhood series, documenting her gender transition, had gone viral, making her one of the most prominent trans voices on social media. For Bud Light's marketing team, a partnership seemed like a perfect way to signal their commitment to inclusivity. It was a bold move designed to show that Bud Light was for everyone. On April 1st, 2023, the partnership went live. Mulvaney posted a short video on her Instagram. In it, she was dressed like Audrey Hepburn, talking about March Madness and promoting a Bud Light contest. As part of the collaboration, Bud Light had sent her a custom can with her face on it to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of her transition. It's important to note, this can was not for sale. It was a one-of-a-kind commemorative gift, a common practice in influencer collaborations. The video was lighthearted, on-brand for Mulvaney, and aimed at her followers. The marketing team likely expected a few positive headlines, a bit of social media chatter, and then for everyone to move on. They couldn't have been more wrong. The backlash was immediate and ferocious. The post was seized upon by conservative commentators and media outlets, who framed it as Bud Light abandoning its core customer base in favor of a woke agenda. The custom can, intended as a personal gift, became a symbol of this perceived betrayal. Photos of the can were shared thousands of times, often with misleading captions suggesting it was being sold in stores. The hashtag boycott Bud Light exploded across social media. What started online quickly spilled into the real world. Viral videos showed former customers dramatically destroying cans of Bud Light, a clip that was viewed tens of millions of times. Bars across the country announced they were pulling Bud Light from their taps. The backlash wasn't just online chatter. It was a full-blown consumer revolt. People weren't just angry. They felt betrayed by a brand they had considered part of their identity. As the crisis escalated, Anheuser-Busch seemed paralyzed. For 2 agonizing weeks, the company remained almost completely silent. This silence was a critical mistake. In a crisis, communication is key. By saying nothing, they created a vacuum that was filled with anger, speculation, and more calls for boycotts. Their core customers felt ignored. While supporters of the LGBTQ+ community felt the company was abandoning Mulvaney and caving to pressure, they were trapped, and their silence was making it worse. When the CEO, Brendan Whitworth, finally released a statement, it was widely criticized as vague and non-committal. He spoke of his time in the military and the company's long history, saying, "We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer." The statement pleased no one. It didn't apologize to those who were offended, nor did it stand by the partnership with Mulvaney. It tried to walk a middle line, and in doing so, it alienated both sides even further. The financial fallout was staggering. In the weeks following the post, Bud Light's sales plummeted. Reports showed sales dropping by over 25% year-over-year. Competitors like Coors Light and Miller Lite saw their sales surge as consumers switched brands. The boycott was having a real, measurable impact. By May, the damage was undeniable. Anheuser-Busch's market value had dropped by as much as $27 billion at its lowest point. The boycott cost Bud Light its title as America's best-selling beer, a crown it had worn for more than 2 decades, losing it to Modelo Especial. The ripple effects were felt throughout the company's entire supply chain. Wholesalers and distributors, many of them independent family businesses, were hit hard. Truck drivers and warehouse workers faced uncertainty. The controversy wasn't just an abstract number on a stock ticker. It was affecting real people and their livelihoods. In response, Anheuser-Busch put the 2 marketing executives who oversaw the collaboration, including Alyssa Heinerscheid, on leave. They scrambled to launch a new Bathtub Basics summer ad campaign featuring patriotic themes, country music, and scenes of everyday Americans. A clear attempt to win back their traditional base. So, what are the key takeaways from this billion-dollar disaster? First, know your audience. Bud Light's core demographic had a very specific identity tied to the brand. The partnership, without any groundwork to prepare them for such a shift, felt like a sudden and jarring betrayal. Second, in a crisis, you have to act decisively. The company's 2-week silence was a catastrophic error that allowed the narrative to be controlled by its critics. Third, you can't be everything to everyone. By trying to appease both sides with a neutral statement, they ended up satisfying no one. A brand must know what it stands for and be prepared to defend it. The Bud Light story has become a landmark case study in marketing, politics, and culture. It demonstrates the precarious position of legacy brands in a hyperpolarized world and the immense power of consumer backlash in the age of social media. It's a cautionary tale about the consequences of misreading your audience and the high price of indecision in the face of a crisis. The road to recovery for Bud Light will be long and difficult, and it remains to be seen if the brand can ever fully reclaim the trust and loyalty it lost overnight. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting, forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the biggest stories in business and culture. See you next time.